Hi, I'm Miami Beach Commissioner Alex Fernandez, and I'm proud to be your Vice Mayor. You know, their exile experience, my parents' exile experience, it's what helps me identify, be empathetic towards those community who are coming to Miami Beach and to our country now. My father came to Miami alone. My grandmother stayed in Cuba with my uncle. My grandfather had to flee to Puerto Rico. Everyone separated in different places until finally my grandmother on a July 4th arrived to the United States. And to me, that has always helped me identify and be empathetic, you know, with so many other people that are suffering through this in their own country, but yet come to the United States and come to Miami Beach and make this their community and contribute to our economy and contribute to our culture and become our friends and become our neighbors and make the city so much greater. It's what I saw in my parents and my grandparents, and they opened doors of opportunities for me. Could there be a greater American dream than to be an elected official in a city like Miami Beach, in a city of such great diversity? The American dream is to do good, to leave a greater community than the one that we found. And then for me, what is most special now as an elected official is help other people actually fulfill what we commonly know as the American dream, to have a home, to have an education, to have a business, to be successful in their own personal lives. And so I feel that I'm living the American dream and that I feel so privileged to be working in a role where I can also help others now fulfill their own American dream. So I think it was just always meant to be. It was always in the cards. It was always in God's plan for me to be in public service. My family always instilled the values of public service growing up. My parents always encouraged us to get involved, whether it be through church or collecting food for needy individuals every Sunday. But when I was 15, I got heavily involved with Camilla's House, with their Somerville residences over there, and helping single mothers who lived at the Somerville residences who were just getting back on their own 2 feet, getting back into transitional housing, being reunited with their children for the first time after getting separated from their children because of drug addiction issues. And that's when I learned the good that government can play. But what I realized is that government won't do it on its own. It requires people stepping up. It requires a 15-year-old calling a county commissioner or calling a member of Congress or calling their state rep and asking them for resources. And I think that's kind of like what opened my eyes to the important role of public service. And that's when I also started then working at the county, at the Board of County Commissioners, with the first elected official I ever worked with. And from there, it just continued into a life of service that I believe has been a blessing for me. The public has entrusted you with a role that has power, great power. It means that they've trusted you and that you need to trust them. They need to have an open line of communication, that your decisions are not your own, are the decisions you're making on behalf of those who you represent, those who have trusted you. And so I've learned that that line of communication, that connection with the community needs to be behind every decision that I make as an elected official, knowing that it's a privilege to hold this office, but that tomorrow someone else will hold this office. And so I hope just to leave behind a vision that will outlive my tenure in this building and will be reflected in the community that we leave behind. The planning board is in fact under state designation, the local planning agency, and the decisions that the planning board makes on these ordinances institute in fact planning in progress. And so the role that the planning board plays, it's instrumental, it's irreplaceable. Now, for me, what was the most exciting moment was working towards controlling the proliferation of short-term rentals. And we worked so much and so hard on the planning board on those types of policies, or ensuring that we have a well-balanced economy that sustains not only the residential quality of life, but also sustains our economy by bringing in jobs through the proper balance of office spaces and other activities that we need to ensure that we are the destination that we really want to be, but most importantly, the destination that residents want to live at. You know, we had planned our wedding months in advance, and we didn't realize that we were going to be getting married across the street, right across the street from the Supreme Court, on practically what was the eve of the Supreme Court ruling on marriage equality. But to be there as the justices of this country were deliberating on marriage equality, and to have had the privilege to be married by Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who is such an advocate for our community, such a strong voice who has fought so much. It still gives me goosebumps to think that we were there when that was happening. And it's almost a sense of responsibility to be the example for society that you can be gay and married and contributing members of society by the way we live our lives, by the way we contribute to our community, and by the way, hopefully, we leave a better tomorrow. This community represents to me my family, it represents to me my friends, it represents to me a lot of the values that I have, in part because when your family leaves their country because of a bad government, a government that denied them their rights, a government that prosecuted them out of the country, it instills in you a set of values to be responsible in how you go about your governance, and to ensure that our community is one that continues to have the same open and welcoming arms that my parents were fortunate to find when they came here. To me, the community, the Hispanic community, is part of what is my values. It has helped shape who I am today. It's what I fight for. I think we need to sometimes lighten the spirit. We're dealing with serious issues, but we need to get along. We need to know that once we vote on an issue, we have to continue working together on other issues, not for ourselves, not for our own victory, for the good of the community that we serve. And so I believe a lot in trying to find unity so that it could be better for the community, so that we can find, win-win solutions for everyone. I think that's kind of our job as legislators. And listen, I think sometimes when things are tense, start laughing, because it automatically brings optimism in a tense situation. It's interesting because a lot of times when I'm making decisions, I'm thinking, okay, this project is going to be completed 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And I'm thinking, where am I going to be in my life at that point? I'm thinking, gosh, I'm going to see the outcome of this project. I'm going to see this new park. I'm going to see the impacts of this resiliency improvement project. And I think, if we don't do this project, what is the alternative? And so it puts me in a very unique position, because I started thinking, what is the community I'm going to be living in? And I can say, you know what? I helped work on policies that 20 years from now, I'll be proud that I worked on. Every morning, I wake up And I'm fortunate to walk out of my house, to walk to the beach, to see the sunrise. And like, who wouldn't be inspired to take a picture of our beautiful sunrise? It's literally picture perfect every single morning. And that's what inspires me. That's when I walk, when I exercise, when I meet other people, but when I reflect also about my day, about my goals, about what I've done, about what I still want to achieve. And it just energizes me on a daily basis, and it's picture perfect every day here in Miami Beach. A happy commissioner, an accessible commissioner, someone always optimistic, but who always fought for the residents, who always fought for balance and fairness, who never lost sight that Miami Beach should always aim to be a cleaner, a safer, a more resilient city, and a city that continues being the most beautiful and diverse oasis for everyone to enjoy.